Okay, so welcome to Chapter 4 Study Guide. We've had a long discussion in class here about problem number 1, and I have decided to throw that one out. So if you're watching on the recording, I will replace that with a question about slope-intercept form, but I just don't like this question. I don't like the way the test has it set up. We looked at the test question. I just don't like it. So forget that question. There will be a different slope-intercept equation question, but it won't be tricky. Number 2, write an equation in standard form of the line that passes through 4, 5 with a y-intercept of -3. So we want to get this into standard form, which is ax plus by equals c, but we don't have the information to put it straight into that form. We have to start with another form. We've got the y-intercept and we've got a point, so we can write our y-intercept equation to find the slope, our slope-intercept equation to find the slope. So I can start out like this. 5 equals m times 4 minus 3. So that's y equals mx plus b. Everybody with me? Okay. Now just solve for m to find the slope. So 5 equals 4m minus 3. Add 3 to both sides. So 8 equals 4m, divide by 4, m equals 2. Now I can put it in slope-intercept form and change that from slope-intercept form into standard form. So y equals mx plus b. And I know in standard form, I want the x and the y to be on the same side. And because I've looked at that back page of my study guide, I know all of the rules regarding standard form. X, my leading coefficient, cannot be negative. So if I subtract 2 to put it over here with the y, then that means that I've got a -2, and I can't do that. I could do that and then multiply everything by -1. It doesn't. I don't care what order the steps are that you do here. But here's how I'm going to do it to get everything where it needs to be. I'm going to add 3 to this side, and I'm going to subtract y from this side, and subtract y from this side. So that puts 2x minus y on the same side. And then that puts a plus 3 on the other side. Everybody follow that? I kind of scrunched all the work together there. But that's what your standard form equation should look like. Okay? All right, write the slope-intercept equation for the line graph below. So we have a line here. To write a slope-intercept equation, I need to know 2 things. I need to know the slope. I need to know the y-intercept. Y-intercept is what? Y-intercept is 2. And the slope is what?
1/2 x.
Up 1 over 2. That's the slope. Up 1 over 2. Rise over run. So all I have to do then is write y equals 1/2 x plus 2.
You have to write the m equals.
That would be like showing your work as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I think that would be the information you need to write the equation. So I would like to see that written down. Next, we need to graph a line with the y-intercept of 4 and a slope of, does that say 2/3?
Yeah.
Okay. A y-intercept of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is right there. And 2/3, that's a rise of 2 and run of 3. I can't rise 2, so I need to go down 2. And then to make a positive slope, I would go left 3. 1, 2, 3. And because we are awesome math students, we know that when we draw a line on a graph, we need to make it from edge to edge of the graph, which sometimes is tricky if I don't have a ruler, but I can do it this way. Something like that. Everybody good? Everybody know how to draw a line, give it a slope and a point?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I was confused on this one because I didn't know if it was like meant to be horizontal, because
You're supposed to make the line.
yeah, you're supposed to make it, but if I'm trying to do it in order, like 3 and then 4,
Now, question 3, you mean, and then question 4?
Well, the graph is just.
Well, the graph's in a weird place, and on the test, it's not like that. I was just conserving space on my study guide when I put those two on the same line. I know usually your graph that you're working on here wouldn't be up here, but that's just an organizational thing because I didn't want to take up any more paper. All right. Guys, this whole section of the test is all about writing equations in various forms given different information. So switching between forms, you know, and being asked to write in one form when you're not given the stuff you need to write it in that form, you have to start in another form and write it and then change it. That's what this whole section is about. That's why I gave you the study guide on the back that has all those different, you know, rules about what the forms look like and stuff. Because you've got to be able to switch back and forth between forms of equations. So write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through these 2 points. What's the first thing we have to do? Find the slope.
y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2.
There you go, -2 minus 2 over 9 plus 3. -2 minus 2 would be -4. 9 plus 3 is 12. So that is -1/3. Now I've got to find the y-intercept. That's step 1. Back when we did this lesson, that was step 1. Step 2 is find the y-intercept using one of the 2 points. So I'm going to use, doesn't really matter which one we use. I'm going to start with the one that has the smaller numbers. So 2 equals -1/3. Good grief. Times -3 plus b. So that would be 2 equals -1/3 times a positive, or -3 would be a positive 1 plus b. Subtract 1. So b is 1. And then step 3 is write the equation. So y equals -1/3 x plus 1. Okay, number 6, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that for the horizontal line that passes through 3, 5. So what's going on here? Sean?
You have a horizontal line, or in other words, the slope is 0. So we know your x value is going to be staying the same.
The x value is going to stay the same?
No, y.
The y value is going to stay the same. The y value will never change because my slope is 0. So what does the equation for the line look like if the slope is 0?
Y equals 3.
5.
Y equals 5. The 5 is the y value. Y equals 5. And guys, that really, I mean, if there's one like this on the test, or it asks about a horizontal line, or if it asks about a vertical line, really all you have to do for a horizontal line, it's y equals. For a vertical line, it's x equals. And you've got the x and the y value there that it would equal. You don't have to do, there's just not a lot you need to show on that one. I just want to know if you know that. Write an equation in point slope form of the line that has -2/5 and goes through -4, 7. So point slope form is y minus y1. So y minus 7 equals
-2/5.
m times x minus
Plus.
x1, which would be plus 4, since it's a -4. Y minus 7 equals -2/5 x plus 4. Guys, that's in point slope form. We don't, in fact, don't do anything else to that. I don't want you to do anything else to that. That's what I want. I want it written in point slope form. Okay? So what form is this equation here given to us?
Point slope.
It's in point slope form. And what form do we need to get it into? Standard. So there's some rules about standard form. I know that in standard form, I can't have a fraction in front of my x variable. In fact, I can't have a fraction anywhere in it. So I need to get rid of the fraction. I also know that my x variable needs to be positive, right? So I need to get rid of a negative symbol here. So what do I do here first?
Multiply by
With the
negative 8.
multiply.
Multiply by negative 8. And that's going to give me, I'm going to distribute the negative 8 through here, right? You with me on this? So it would be negative 8y minus 24 equals positive 5 times x plus 1. These parentheses shield that multiplication process. We're multiplying by 8 when we get rid of this fraction. We're undoing the multiplying by the fraction, so we can leave it like it is. So now I would have, I need to distribute here. So negative 8y minus 24 equals 5x plus 5. Now I need to get the y to the same side as the x, so plus 8y. I need to get the 5 away from the x, so minus 5 plus 8y. So my standard form equation would be 5x plus 8y equals negative 29.
Negative.
Negative 24 minus 5. Yep.
Could you switch it around to where it would be 5x minus 8y equals 29?
No, because you'd have to if you switch, no, because then it'd be negative 5x minus 8y equals positive 29.
5x minus 8y equals 29.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same equation. It's got to be plus 8y and negative 29. You can't switch the sign of the y value without switching the sign of the x value if they're on the same side of the equation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So no, you can't. Yeah, that's got to be the way it is. Right, slope-intercept form of the equation. This one again is given to us in point-slope form. This time we want to get it to y-intercept. So now we just need to distribute first. So it'd be y minus 5 equals negative 2x plus 10. And all I got to do is get y by itself. So add 5. That would be y equals negative 2x plus 15. That's the easier one, going to slope-intercept form.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Nope. Number 10, write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line parallel. What's the deal with parallel lines?
Like this.
They have the same slope. So in order to write a parallel line that goes through this point, I've got to know the slope. This one doesn't give me the slope because it's not a slope-intercept form, so I need to subtract 3x, subtract 3x. So y equals negative 3x minus 7. So now I know my slope is negative 3. So I'm going to use a negative 3 slope. I've got to find the y-intercept now. So I need to use, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
I need to,
Question one,
what?
Rethink like what? Question one, use the same idea.
Question 1, what?
No.
Scratch that.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to find the, I'm going to use my slope and this point to find the y-intercept. Okay, so y equals negative 3 times negative 3. That's y equals mx, and then I need to know the y-intercept, so plus b. 5 equals 9 plus b.
B equals negative 4.
So subtract 9, negative 4, that's a 9. Negative 4 equals b, so my slope-intercept equation would be y equals negative 3x minus 4. I feel like this is one of those tests where, like, take any one question out, and that one question is not that difficult, but put them all together, it's just a lot of details to remember.
Yeah.
You guys gotta think of a lot of different steps. Okay, so now write the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line perpendicular. What's the deal with perpendicular lines?
It's the opposite slope completely. Like if the line's positive, then it's a negative, and the fraction is flipped.
Okay, so opposite reciprocal. It's the, opposite reciprocal slope. So the slope is given to us here as 2/3. So what slope do I need that's perpendicular?
-3/2.
The slope I need to use is -3/2. Okay? So again, same steps I just went through with my last problem. I need to use this point and this slope to find the equation. So 1 is my y value. 1 equals -3/2. Write that a little different so it takes up a little less room. -3/2 times -9 plus b. Ooh, I kind of stunk up the slope on this one, or the y-intercept. Okay, so 1 equals 3 times 9 is 27. 27 divided by 2 would be 13.5.
Yeah. Sure. 100%.
Do you understand? To multiply, it's just -3/2 times -9. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 divided by 2 is 13.5. That's all I did. Okay? 13.5 plus b. So now I got to subtract 13.5. What's 1 minus 13.5?
12.5. Or 12.
Negative
Yeah.
12.5. Negative 12.5. So that's the y-intercept. So
Y equals
y equals -3/2 x minus 12.5. I was not kind to you on that y-intercept. Anyway, it'll be okay.
Well, would you rather have it be 12.5 or 12.5?
It doesn't matter. I know I make a big deal about liking fractions more than decimals, but when it's a decimal like 0.5 or 1/2, I really don't care that much. I'm talking about decimals like 2/3 when you want to write it as 0.67. I don't ever want to see 0.67 because you've rounded it. You haven't written it as a decimal. You've rounded the fraction. I'd rather see 2/3 than 0.67.
You can write 0.6 repeated.
But you can't use that number. That number is worthless. That number does nothing for you in an equation. If you're going to use that number in an equation, you have to use a fraction to be accurate. True story. Okay, now, a scatter plot of data. Numbers 12. 12, let's see. Oh, okay, so number 12 just gives you a scenario. Then 13, 14, and 15, you have to write your own line of fit. Holy smokes, we're going to run out of time. I'm so behind. Scatter plot of data shows the percentage of total internet users of its online store in a given day, December, plus includes these points. Write the slope intercept equation for the line of fit. You just have to assume they give you the 2 points that they want you to use for the line of fit. So all we have to do here, guys, is find the slope, find the y-intercept, and then write the slope-intercept equation. We've already done one just like that, have we not?
Yeah.
Okay, we had to write an equation. That was back here on this page, whatever number, 6 or whatever it was. So I'm not going to go through that because you should know how to do that one. I want to get to this one that has a line of fit because we got to go. Make a scatter plot relating shots on goal to points scored. So shots determine points. So shots would be the x, points would be the y. Shots are independent, points are dependent. So we would number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have time to number them because we gotta go here. So shots on goal. Oh, we would number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that fits on the y-axis. But shots on goal, we're gonna have to number by 5s.
Yep.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, and so on. So 5 shots on goal would be 22. 5, 10, 15, 20, 22 would be here, and 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 shots would be here. 7 points. 5, 6, 7. 28 shots. 7. 28, 7 would be right about there. 29, 9 would be right there, and then 33, 8
Yep.
would be right in there. Okay, so we would want a line of fit that fits the data. It would really make sense for us to put this through the origin because 0 shots on goal is going to be 0 points, right? But we don't make our line of fit based on where we think it should go through the origin or where we think the y-intercepts should be. We make our line of fit that fits the data. So a line of fit that fits the data might be something like that, even though it doesn't quite go through the intercept. And so I could use a couple of points. I would choose to use this point, which would be 1 shot or 5 shots and 1 goal. And, you know, maybe this one right here, which would be 35 and 9. So 1 shot, no, 5. I got my backwards on. I would use the points 5-1 and what did I say, 35-9?
Yeah.
I would use those 2 points. I would write an equation, which you should know how to do, a slope-intercept equation, right? And then I would make a prediction about 38 points or 38 shots. And then I would answer this question. Is it reasonable to use the equation to estimate the score for any number of shots taken? No, because we know there are limits to our line of fit. If we took 1,000 shots, that's going to be playing against a pretty awful team. So we might score more goals, right? But if we only get 1 shot because the team's really good, that's going to tell us something else. There are other variables at play. So the answer to this one would be no, it's not reasonable. Okay, sorry I didn't get to quite finish those last couple of questions the way I would like to have because of the time we spent on that first question before I started the recording. Good luck tomorrow. Have a great day.
Mr. Fish.
Yes,
you
Cooper.
announcing tonight?
I am announcing tonight.
Okay. You guys